Hi, welcome back to part 2 of our little iPad series. Today is going to be lettering, and I'm just going to basically letter something or kind of do a design using lettering and fonts and just talk through as we do it. So I am going to do a Bible verse. I am currently for 2024, we're memorizing all the scripture in my studio, and I've been lettering all the verses. So I'm going to letter, I'm doing Colossians 4:2. So the first thing I do is I need a template. I just use 4x4. I typically, once I get the size I want, I will just duplicate it and just delete everything. It just kind of makes it easier because I know it's the right stuff. But 4x4, and then the DPI is 635. So I use just this Bible app because it makes it really easy to copy and paste. So if I'm going to letter a verse, typically I will click on it, copy it, and then come here and I'm going to add the text. So add text and paste. And I'm not going to use this whole thing like this, but it just helps me to have it like right in front of me to see it. And I will use some of it because I'm going to do a combination of lettering and font basically. So we've got our verse up there and we're going to get started. So I like to do the like the stuff that I want to letter first and then kind of work around that. So for me, I can see that like continue will be something I do in a font. Maybe steadfastly will be a font, but like a bolder font. And then prayer I will letter. And then I might letter watchful and thanksgiving. So I have a new layer here. And then I'm going to go to my Inkwell Modern. And I usually just do everything in black to start. And then I will like color it later. Oh, the other thing I was going to show you is, again, if you're brand new, you can click this and you can click Canvas and you can click Drawing Guide and give yourself a guide. If you're someone that draws crooked, like I do, when I letter sometimes, my letters, it'll be like, it'll go down or it goes up. So this can just kind of help you, and then you take it off. Or even if you go to print this, those lines will not be there. It's just a guide for you. So I'm going to do prayer. And I usually center it, and then as I told you, I kind of make the opacity down a bit, and I'm actually going to leave it now, and I'm going to work around it just to make sure I don't need to move the move like the P or the Y or anything. So I'm going to do the word steadfastly in this. Let's see, I'm going to use this font. And I'll put links to everything, or at least tell you what it's called. All of these I've gotten online, I've purchased online. So this one is called, sorry, I already forgot. I think it's called Roosing. Oops. Yeah, okay. So we've got that, steadfastly. And then I need the word in. Again, in is a very simple word, so I'm just going to do this simple font. I've been really liking this Sun Rays font. Okay, so we could do something like this, right? We're going to line it all up centered. Sometimes I like to do something like this and put this on the same line and then maybe add like a circle behind it. Like this, something like that, and then I'll change that font color in a bit. But then I'm going to take this and I'm going to combine it down, and then take that group and combine it down, because I want in this group, I want in the circle and I want steadfastly. And that way now I can grab this whole group and like move it around basically. Okay, next I'm going to do, let's see, we're going to do watchful I think I'm gonna do Thanksgiving too. And let me know if you have any questions. I feel like I wanted to do all this stuff with lettering. I'm not sure. I mean, I feel like with lettering, it's kind of just a self-taught thing. I didn't take any courses or anything. I just kept practicing. One thing I would do is just practice different things. So I'm going to grab a new thing. Okay, a new artwork. And so what I would do when I was first starting out is I would just practice different things. So I would just do A and like literally do the alphabet, but just see like what I like. And then I would try it with different sizes. And then I could see like, oh, okay, I don't really like it as thin, but I also don't like it too thick. I like it like this, you know. And then I would practice my next letter and, you know, trying different styles and seeing, do I like simple? Do I like it to be cursive-y? And then even combining stuff like A and B. And so I would just keep doing that till I kind of created my own style, if that makes sense. So I would recommend that if you're kind of starting out. Okay, so we have our lettering. Again, I'm gonna like redo it in a bit, but I just want to get the fonts too. So we're going to do the word continue. The other thing is you don't always have to add text. A lot of times I will just duplicate this text box and then I will edit it and just, you know, you can delete what you don't need. And now I've got the word continue here. So I'm going to duplicate this. And I just always want to keep that one up there so I, you know, make sure I have the verse correct basically. We'll do the word being. Being watchful, and I'm going to add new text. And when I was deleting that, I copied the rest of what I need. So I'm going to paste that there. Make that smaller. Okay. Now some other fun things you can do with fonts is, so this watchful in it with, we're going to edit that. And what you can do, so you can go to this A and you can change, you know, you can change the size, but you can also change the like letter spacing. So you can make it like this, which can kind of give it like a different look. So sometimes I like to do that. So like that, and then you could do it to these other two, or you could leave those other two. For continue, I'm gonna delete that. Okay, so for continue, let's do, let's see if there's another font we could do. I'm gonna do my In the Wild font. I'm going to lowercase that for no reason other than just I like the way it looks. Okay, so continue steadfastly in prayer, being watchful. Oops, I have watchful there. That's why it looked funny. Okay, we just need in it with. And then again, you could do this, so like put it over here and then put Thanksgiving here. Like, so just, you can kind of like move stuff around and figure out how you like it. Okay, so I'm going to redo my lettering that I need to do. Bring this up here. Okay, create a new layer. And I'm going to redo those letterings. And again, what I'm looking for is this Y is going right into this being word. And so I want to kind of adjust that, or I could, if I can't really adjust it or I don't like the way the adjustment looks, I can always move the being too. And I also noticed when I lettered it the first time, there's a big space between the P and the R. So that's really what I'm doing when I'm relettering stuff, is I'm just kind of seeing if there's anything I want to change, or maybe there's a letter I don't like the way it looks. Okay guys, and I might like fast forward this part and like add some music because I will say I will letter something many times until I like it. So some people can just letter once. I'm just kind of picky sometimes. Okay, so I'm going to move it up too. I do like it to kind of be close together. Okay, so then that means I'm going to move the word being up a bit. Okay, now I'm going to do watchful, and I am going to delete that underneath prayer layer, and now I'm going to add a new layer for watchful. Okay, and the other thing is you can just have different styles for different things. So just taking this word watchful. For the W, I could have just done more simple like this. I could have even done like this. For the A, I kind of went simple. I could have done like a swirly thing. For the T, same thing. Sometimes I don't always connect it, so I could have done this to connect the T and the C. Sometimes I don't. Another fun thing is to do the T and the H and connect it. So you basically could go T, C, and then go like this and connect to make the H. Same thing with H. I mean, we could have just gone like this. We could do something like this. Could have done that. I like mixing up stuff too. So sometimes I'll even do it all cursive and then do like a regular F. The fun thing about lettering, and especially finding your styles, you can do whatever you like. There's no rules. You know what I mean? If you want to do something different, like there is certain letters are not my favorite to letter. Like G, for instance, I really don't like doing capital G's. I mean, lowercase g's are very fun, but capital G's are, you know, I usually just do something like this. I just don't love them as much. So a lot of times if I'm doing a G, besides if it's God, the word God, I will, like for my daughter's name's Gemma, a lot of times I letter it lowercase because I like it and it's my, you know, whatever it is, it's my design that I'm making. So you can kind of do whatever you want. So don't feel like it has to be a certain way. Okay, so we got watchful. I'm going to center that. Again, even with the, I'm going to remove that for a second so I can kind of show you something. Even with the L, like we could have done something like this, made it like loop out. You can always do like swirly things, or even just go like this, just to add different stuff to it. Same thing with the Y, you know, you could always go like this, add little extra stuff. And those again are a very good thing to practice, is just to sit with a blank page and just go like this and just kind of get like some swirls down, because it's just, I don't know, it's just something I used to practice all the time. Okay, so watchful. And now we got the word Thanksgiving. I'm going to add a new layer and letter Thanksgiving. Okay, and then another thing is, let me delete that, but you know, with the T, to do the T, again, you could do something very simple. You could do something like, you know, swirly. We could have done something like this and kind of connected to, oops, to the K almost, and gone something like that to connect to the top of the K. You could have done it with the H, go like this, and you can do that after too. You can go like this and then, you know, zoom in and kind of make it perfect and connect it like that too. Again, just depends on your style. And then the other thing is, I have some different styles for S's that I do. So sometimes I do this type of S, And sometimes I'll do this S and sometimes I'll do this S. And it honestly just depends. But the one thing I do try to do is if I'm doing a like something like this, I try to keep it all the same. So if I had an S up here and it was like this, then I would have done the same here. Or if I wanted to do this S here, I would come up here and change it, just because I do like for it to kind of look the same in this piece. And not all my pieces, but just if I'm doing like a certain piece, I like for it to look the same. You know what? I just noticed this. I'm going to show you this. So here's like a swirly thing. So I did the Y and then I kind of swooped it up and then I came up here and created the O. And so that's an example. And then here's like an H with a swoopy thing. Again, sometimes I do these kind of R's and then sometimes I do these kind of R's. And same thing with the R's. I do these R's sometimes. Sometimes I do those. Sometimes I do this. But no matter what, I try to keep it the same. So because this R, I did it like this, I want to keep that one looking like that too. And again, that's just my preference. You absolutely don't have to do that. Okay, so I'm going to do in with it. I'm going to move that up a bit. I mean, you could, a lot of things. You could make it smaller and just put it right in there. You could put it right back here. Now that I'm done lettering, I am going to take off the grid because sometimes I feel like it distracts me a little bit. Okay. So Thanksgiving, I'm going to move up. And when you're moving it, you'll see there's this line, that yellow line. That's telling you that now it's centered. That's what that yellow line is. So that's usually what I'm looking for. And again, it's just a lot of it is just playing with it, is just kind of playing with your letters and seeing what you like. Okay, so I think I like that better than what it was. Okay. And then I'm going to take this text, because now we're done. That's the whole verse. I'm going to edit it, and I just need this Colossians 4:2 because I want to have the reference on there. So I'm going to put that down here, and usually I kind of make that small because it's not the most important thing. Okay, so there's that, or sometimes I like to kind of put it like in between here. Okay, and so now I'm going to start doing the colors and centering it all. So I'm going to combine all these down together to make one layer. That way I can then center it. So now we're seeing that line across there and that line there, so we know that is the center right there. Okay, so I'm going to open up my layers and start doing some coloring. So for Steadfastly, I would like to, sorry, I was going to say that a bit. I would like to make it a bunch of different colors. So I'm going to click on it and I'm going to click this rasterize button. And now I can't edit it as text. Now it's just one layer. But now I can take my colors and just drag it. And then you could also, so you could drag them and keep dragging them like this. You could also click this continue filling, and now I can just come in and click the one I want and it'll fill it for me. Okay. This in color I want to change too, so I'm going to click that, click the rasterize, and maybe do like a light pink, and I'm going to do fill layer, and so now it's light pink. Okay, we're going to do the word continue. Now let's say that for the word continue, maybe I'm not sure if I like the font or not, and so because of that I don't want to rasterize it because I don't want it to be uneditable. Right? So the other option you could do is to click on it and click edit text. And now I can highlight it. And now I could change the color. So I'm going to do green. But now I can still, it's still a font, so I could still edit it if I want to. So if later on I'm like, I don't like that font, I want to change it, I can still do that. Where for the word in, I cannot change it again. And I can't change Steadfastly either. So that's just one thing to keep in mind depending on how you want to do it. Okay, so for prayer, For these lettered things, you're just going to take your 2 fingers and swipe to the side, and that's going to allow you to fill a layer. Let's say we didn't do that actually. Okay, so like for Thanksgiving, let's say we didn't do it. If I click on it and say fill layer, it filled the whole page. So you would just, you know, undo that. But then if I do this, now I click fill layer, it's just going to fill those words, those letters. Okay, watchful, fill layer, and then prayer, fill layer. Okay, and then being, I'm actually thinking I'm going to change Thanksgiving to maybe a blue color. And I'm going to do being and in with it in that green color too. Again, if I know I'm not going to do anything with it, you could just do this. I could combine all those into one layer to make it quicker. Do this, and I could now fill layer, and it filled this one, and this one because I combined those layers. So it's another way you can do it. Okay, so now we have that, and now we're going to just add some art. So I'm going to come up here and add a new layer, and we could make our own art. We could use brushes. So a lot of times I like to do, right now for this current series I'm doing, it's a lot of like BOHO stuff. So like just a lot of like little like swatches. I'm gonna do that. Then again, I have like art marks, so maybe I'll do this one and do it in, let's see, maybe I'll do it in this blue color, add a new layer. I need to make it smaller. And then you can even decide, maybe you don't like that and you want to see what it looks like underneath, you can pull it underneath. So I kind of like the way it looks underneath more. Do that. And then I think I'm just going to add like a vine here. So I'm going to take my blue and I'm going to go back to my Inkwell Modern brush, but I'm going to do like a thinner one. Oops. Okay, and I needed a layer in front of that, so I'm going to add a layer in front of the green. And sometimes you do stuff and I'm like, yeah, I don't like that blue color on top of that. So I'm going to put it where I want it, but now I'm going to change the color. So I'm going to come here, I'm going to take the 2 fingers and swipe, and now I can change it to whatever color I want. That one's okay. So then I just usually, honestly, I just kind of try different things. See what I like. I think I like that one. So I'm going to do that. And then maybe I can just duplicate it. So you just swipe and push the duplicate button, and now I'm going to grab it, bring it over here, and maybe just put it there. If I wanted to, I could also turn it, so you can do this flip horizontal, and that's going to turn it. I could do flip vertical, that's going to make it go upside down. I can rotate it. So that's how I usually do a lot of my stuff, but I think I'm going to just put it right there. And then I feel like there needs to be something else. So I like to do crosses a lot of times. So let's do a, let's see, a cute like cross. And I don't know, maybe we'll do this color. Oops. Add a new layer. Always add a new layer. And that's too big, so I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. And I'm just going to do that. I try not to make them always like exactly perfect. I am going to try a few different colors on that to see if there's something else I like. Okay, I think I like that. Okay, so that is done. And that's how you do it. The other thing is, let's say, okay, we're going to, hold on. I'm going to duplicate this. Let's say we didn't have time to make 2 whole separate things, okay? So I'm going to show you what you could do. So let's say we didn't have that, we didn't have this one, and we didn't have this. Oops. So if we just had this right here, but we kind of wanted the same thing up there, what you could do is after you make your stuff, you made your little marks, you could combine all these. So you can either click it and say combine down, or you can just go like this and bring it all together. So now it's on one layer, and now I can move it around. Oops, I forgot to duplicate it, sorry. So duplicate it first. Now I can move it all around. But you can see it kind of looks funny because it's got this edge because we did it up against the edge. So I'm going to click on it, and you can just rotate it. So I can rotate it this way, and now I can put it in this corner, and maybe you make it a little smaller. You can make it bigger just to make it look a little bit different. But there, now I've got kind of the same design, but I didn't have to do it twice. So that's another little tip if you're kind of in a hurry or you don't want to make it twice. Sometimes with my flowers, I'll do that. I'll do flowers down here, and then I just combine all the layers, copy and paste it, and put them up here and just rotate it so it looks different, but really it's the exact same flowers. So that is how I letter a piece.